Let's talk about the update per Shams for the Kyrie Irving trade. Now, the Lakers have been trying to pursue and acquire Kyrie Irving for months now, right? And we keep getting these conflicting reports. 1 minute, they're in play. Next minute, they're not. Just the other day, we got reports that the Nets are willing to explore the Lakers trade again in the future. They just want to figure out what's going on with KD. But Shams released a report today saying the Nets plan on keeping Kyrie Irving, that the Nets don't plan to trade Kyrie this upcoming season. And all teams that are interested in Kyrie, they have told that they're not trading him this year. Now, here's the thing about that. I'm not saying this isn't true. It very well could be true. But the entire report, the original report, was about Kevin Durant. It had nothing to do with Kyrie Irving. There was one little tiny segment towards the bottom of the report in which it mentions Kyrie Irving. But the entire report was an update about Kevin Durant in that situation. And then at the bottom of the report, it says that the Nets are comfortable with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's been working out with teammates. He's been in Brooklyn. He's been active in Brooklyn. And the possibility of them keeping him is very likely, right? That they are comfortable with keeping and going into the season with him. And all teams that have acquired about Kyrie Irving, they have said no. Now, all of the information in the report is all old information. It's not anything new. It's not anything updated. It's just very interesting that this was all put together now. Even the Kevin Durant stuff wasn't any new updates. It was all the same stuff that's been going on for the last week that we've heard about. So no new reports in that regards. But people still think like, oh, that's it. The Nets made a report. That's what I keep seeing from people. The Nets made a report saying that they are keeping Kyrie Irving. That's not what happened. There was no report officially from the Nets. This is from Shams' source within the Nets. That Shams believes that what this person told them is true and that they have told all teams that they are keeping Kyrie Irving. Now, again, that is not the Nets releasing an official statement. This is no different than when Shams reported 2 weeks ago that Kyrie Irving to the Lakers was still alive and well and that the Lakers were willing to trade 2 picks. And Russell Westbrook was the problem. The Brooklyn Nets do not want Russ, and the Lakers want to move off of Russ this season. And that's where the dilemma lies. The report came out about a week ago now, that the Nets would be willing to explore potential trades. From day one, the conversation has always been this is going to have to be a 3-team deal. That any deal for Kyrie Irving to the Lakers has to be a 3-team. Just because the Nets do not want Russell Westbrook. So that means you have to work out a deal with maybe Utah, where Utah is sending back players because the Brooklyn Nets want players. We even got the report that says, they care more about win-now players as opposed to the draft picks, but the draft picks are still interesting. So the Nets could go to the Lakers and say, hey, you're willing to give us 2 first-round picks. Instead of that, go do the Utah deal, get us these 3 players, and then we'll trade you Kyrie. Or do the Pacers deal, go get Miles Turner, but keep one of your first-round picks, trade us a first and Miles Turner, and then we'll give you Kyrie. That's probably what ends up happening. In regards to Westbrook, I don't think they're going to go into the season with Westbrook. I think whether it's Kyrie trade or not, if it's another trade, very likely they'll end up moving on to the trade. When it comes to Kyrie Irving to the Lakers, there was no news. There is no new information. What Shams said was something that has been going around for a while. Here's the problem. The report says teams, which is what I keep highlighting. Teams. There's only one team that wants Kyrie Irving, and that is the Lakers. So where did Shams get teams from? There are no other teams that want Kyrie Irving except for the Lakers. So either this is a very old report that is now just coming out, or Shams made an error, or the source is just full of it. Or the other option, which many people think it is, and I'm not saying that this is the case or not, but it's a leverage play. They want to get the most possible for Kyrie trade from the Lakers. So they throw out a report that they're interested in the 2 first, but they don't want Westbrook, and they're kind of toying around. We'll keep Kyrie. This time next week, guess what? We're going to have another report that the Lakers and the Nets are back in conversations. Shams, Woj, all of these big reporters, not one of them has been correct yet. And they've all contradicted themselves a million times. Again, this report had nothing to do with Kyrie Irving. He just decided to add in Kyrie at the very bottom of the report, and everyone ran wild with it because it's Kyrie Irving, it's a Lakers topic, it's all of those things. So I don't think that report changes it either way. And no, the Nets did not release an official statement saying that Kyrie Irving is staying with the thing. It didn't come from the Nets. It came from a source. Shams reported from a source that is telling anybody that will listen that Kyrie Irving is staying with the Nets this year. We've heard sources say this, that, and the other. The original report was that same source was telling everybody that Kyrie was going to the Lakers. So what is it? Is it Kyrie going to Lakers or is it Kyrie staying with the Nets? Again, this isn't a video to persuade anybody one way or another. I don't know. I still think Kyrie's eventually going to end up being a Laker, but this report, I got a ton of comments, because I'm Mr. Kyrie here on YouTube, according to many people. And I just wanted to clarify this report because, again, other networks and media took that little snippet and made their own reports and ran away with it. But if you go look at Shams' original report, it is a Kevin Durant report that he tacks on Kyrie Irving and that the Brooklyn Nets, based on his source, the Brooklyn Nets are willing to hold on to Kyrie Irving for the year. They've said that from day one, that they are willing to keep Kyrie and ride it out for the year. Nothing has changed. Nothing in Shams' report in regards to Kyrie Irving says anything we don't already know. Are the Nets willing to keep Kyrie for the year? Yes, that has always been on the table. That's always a huge possibility. Shams also notes that Kyrie opted into his contract and that they're hoping to, convince KD to stay and stick around. Again, that's all stuff we've known. That's not anything new. That's the same rhetoric. That's the same report over and over again. And then again, Shams next week will have a report. Nobody knows what the Nets are doing. Nobody knows what Kyrie's going to do. Nobody knows what Kevin Durant's going to do. None of us do. And everybody's just guessing. And everybody's contradicting themselves. Like I said, Shams and Woj, go look. You have all the archives on this channel because I've covered all of the reports just to keep up to date for everybody. And every single report is a complete opposite. And we'll get more reports in the next couple days or next week saying that Kyrie Irving is on the table for the Lakers and this, that, and the other. They don't know. And again, the report, Nets have not said anything officially. Neither has Kyrie Irving, not have the Lakers. No, there have been no official anything from either side that says this deal isn't happening. If this deal wasn't happening, then I'm sure we would know without a doubt that nothing is happening. The original report did not say that the Nets told the Lakers that they are. No, it says that the source, that Shams' source. Again, go look at the original report if you think I'm just making this up or whatever. I'm telling you, that's what it says. It's not what the other media outlets are trying to make it out. You go on Bleacher Report, you go on, like The Heavy, you go on things like that. All the headlines are the Nets say they're keeping Kyrie. That's not what. Go read the original report that Shams put out. Now, could this be a leverage play? Because that's what many people think, that this is the Nets trying to gain more leverage on the Lakers because they got absolutely destroyed in leverage talks. And now the Lakers are willing to give up both firsts. So, is it an interesting dynamic? Yes, absolutely, right? Lakers are willing to give both firsts now, which they weren't willing to do this entire time. And now you hear this report. I don't know. I mean, I can understand the idea and the thinking behind this is a leverage play. I'm not saying it is. I don't know. But what I do know is that it is a little odd. Timing's a little off. Look, it's always been about Kevin Durant, right? Kevin Durant gets traded, Kyrie's getting traded. I still think they very likely might trade Kyrie regardless. It could go into training camp. If Kevin Durant doesn't show up to training camp, I think they'll be done. I think they're trying to hope that eventually KD just stops calling their bluff and it's going to be the first one to blink. It could be the first domino, right? Maybe Donovan Mitchell gets traded and then that sparks, all the other stuff. Sooner or later, a domino is going to fall, and whatever domino that is will, I think, likely lead Kyrie to the Lakers. But the Shams report has nothing to do with Kyrie Irving for one. It's literally a small little segment at the bottom of the report. And it's not officially from the Nets. He doesn't say, the Nets told me. It says that a source with ties to the Nets told him that they were telling teams. We don't know that. It's always an anonymous person. It's always this. And then tomorrow we'll get a Lakers source that says the Lakers are, close to a deal for Kyrie. It's just how this is. It's the media driving for just information and trying to keep people updated because people are involved. The same reason I'm updating, right? I'm a YouTuber. My job is to keep people entertained, to provide content people want to see, to have conversations, to get engagement, to get views, all that stuff. Well, guess what the number one topic is right now? Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. That's why all of these reporters keep putting out all of these fake sources and all this fake information. That's why myself and many other YouTubers keep putting out the information that they're relaying, whether you agree with it, whether you disagree with it, however you feel about it. That's just the time we're in right now. And it's not like there's a ton of stuff going on in the NBA. It's not like there's, just this well of just like crazy NBA stuff that we could all talk about regularly. No, it's all Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Donovan Mitchell trades. That's like everything that's in the world of the NBA right now. And until those dominoes fall one way or another, that's where we're at. But anyway, as always, those are my opinions and thoughts. I'd love to hear yours down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that this is still on the table? Do you think it's dead? How do you feel about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.